Here's a guy who puts his own life on the line just chasing these monsters. Joins us right now. Stan Dorroh is his name. He's a storm chaser. He was in Silver City, Mississippi, I guess, last night, and that had to be pretty scary for you, Stan. Tell us what you saw.
It was extremely scary. I was trying to come down on the storm from the north. Rain was so heavy I literally couldn't see, so I had to pull off the chase. I could not see the tornado, but I came in right after it passed through the area. There were just very few first responders there at the time, and the scene was horrific. Just the number of injuries.
Right after, I'm sorry, Stan, after it hit, what did you see then?
Like I said, wasn't able to see the tornado itself, but as I pulled in, I could see where the damage was, where it had crossed the highway. You're seeing in the pictures there. So I immediately stopped, pulled off the chase, and went to just see if I could help people. And like I said, the damage, these pictures don't even really do Silver City justice, because I quit taking pictures once I started coming across injuries.
I bet. Tell us a little bit of what you feel comfortable sharing.
The houses, I mean, they were absolutely gone, you know. And the people, I said the injuries were there. I don't want to get into the details of the injury, but it was absolutely something I hope to never see again. You know, they weren't even in the houses. They were been thrown out of the houses, just laying, you know, on the ground. And we were just all doing the best we could.
You know, again and again, Stan, we're hearing there wasn't a whole lot of warning for this. There had been sort of people at the National Weather Service saying heightened tornado potential activity, or whatever the language they use. You know this far better than I. But nothing like what happened. So once that goes out, that these are in the area, there's very little time to do anything.
I know there's not, depending on, you know, and like, you know, the other reporter was saying about storm fatigue, you know, people don't know whether to take it seriously. You know, this was late at night. People may have been going to bed. They weren't even watching TV. And there were warnings out, you know, tornado emergency warnings, which is the highest level warning. But if you're in bed asleep, you don't have a way to get a warning, you had no idea it was coming. These are moving so fast, you know, even if you heard, hey, it may be coming, it's on you before you have a chance to really do anything. And this one was
That's interesting, because you said at night, you wouldn't have, you know, at night you wouldn't have that ability. You know, some communities have this horn and very loud siren system in place, but few and far between, right?
Yeah, and, you know, in a misnomer about sirens, they're not meant to alert you inside a house. They're only meant to let you know if you're happen to be outside. And like you said, in range. This was a small community, maybe 300 people. I seriously doubt they even had a siren system. And so like I said, if you're not watching TV, if you don't have a NOAA weather radio that goes off when warnings are issued, 10, 11 o'clock at night, you may have never known it was coming until it hit your house.
Where do these people you were trying to help, Stan, where did they go? What type of shelters did they go to? What was set up? I mean, to your point, there wasn't a whole lot of warning for this, but I'm sure there are things that are put in place for when this kind of stuff happens. But where did they go?
From what I could see, they had nowhere to go. You know, some larger communities will have community storm shelters. I know I live in Starkville. We have some. Other cities around the state and area do. But I said, this is such a small rural community. The odds are there was no shelter. It was just you take shelter in your house the best you can. And like I said, this one, I don't know what it's going to end up being rated, but it was so powerful, it didn't really matter where you were in some of these homes.
You know, you live in just a beautiful part of the country, Stan, but it's a dangerous part of the country. I guess you could make an argument every part of the country has its drawbacks and its dangers. But do you ever think after this and all the tornadoes and severe weather, you alone have experienced it? I don't know. Maybe this area isn't for me. What do you do? What do you say?
It's, you know, it's part of it. If you've grown up here, you're used to it. Just like, I guess, if you're in California, you're used to earthquakes and mudslides. So Here, we're used to tornadoes.
Now, when you hear that people are given all these warnings, more tornado activity possible in a much wider area, I guess that's pretty common after storms like these. What do people do? And where can they go now? Like I said, in this town, a lot of the towns, they look pretty destroyed to me, but what are their options?
As far as like taking shelter, I mean, they could try to, I don't know what federal or state grants would be available to try to get community storm shelters built, but that would be the best option if possible, because like I said, some of these homes, they're not going to withstand tornadoes of this magnitude. And I know these are a very small fraction of a percentage of the tornadoes that exist, but when they do form and they do hit these small rural communities, then if you have nowhere to go, you're just basically in your house praying it misses you.
You talk about severe storms like EF1 storms, category storms, and they're fewer, but lately we've seen more of them. And, you know, no matter how strongly you build a home or a school or a place of business, I would imagine, Stan, there's not much, you know, structural defense from that.
From these high-end EF4, EF5s, like I said, I don't know what this one's going to be rated. But just going on the assumption that it was one of these, it was that upper level type tornado, it is only the sturdiest and strongest of buildings that would have a chance of even coming close to surviving a direct impact. And more of your lesser well-constructed homes and buildings no, they would have no chance.
Will you still chase tornadoes, Stan?
I will, even more so. You know, I and my chase team, we chase on the desire to try to get warnings out to get people to take shelter so the scenes last night don't happen again. So yeah, I'll absolutely keep chasing, trying to save lives.
You're a brave man, Stan, and a lot of people are very grateful.
Well, my family might say crazy, but I'll go with brave.
Maybe so, but good crazy. Stan, thank you very, very much. I'm glad you're fine. But again, that whole region of the country is not. We'll give you an update right after this.